Welcome to FCN Prime News, the Sunday edition. I am Tresnay, and I am here joined with Jacob and The Revolution.
Howdy.
Listen, we've got a great show for you guys today. We've got quite a few topics, and they are all pretty much related to all the gender issues that are going on in the news today. I think we are going to start, though, with things that were happening yesterday. Marches all over the nation as women were coming together in huge droves to protest and to advocate for themselves and women's rights. I think you guys remember how they came together this time last year after, what's his face? Supreme leader of sexual assault, supreme leader of narcissism, this whatever you want to call him. He had got inaugurated, and so they all swarmed on Washington, and so they have done it again to commemorate that 1 year, and they've added a few things to their agenda since then. One is voting, saying, hey, we got to vote ourselves in, and then a lot of the Hollywood women came and jumped in on the bandwagon to advocate for themselves and the issues of sexual assault and harassment. Have you guys seen the videos of these women, like in all the different cities? Have you seen them?
I've seen, I saw New York, I saw Los Angeles, I saw, a bunch of the stuff that the various news outlets compiled together. The one thing that I saw, I didn't listen to what Viola Davis said, but I saw the footage. But I did listen to what Scarlett Johansson said due to clickbaitism.
What did she say?
They said that she asked for her pen back from James Franco, but she didn't in the video that I watched.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, ooh, let me hear that. That sounds spicy.
And it was like most white people food, kind of bland.
Yeah. Salt and pepper on the chicken at the end when it comes out of I literally seen white people put salt and pepper on the chicken after it comes out. They don't.
That was it.
They don't see. They put salt and pepper, or if they do, they put Mrs. Dash. So I never understand white people and their obsession with Mrs. Dash. But they say the same thing about us with Lowry's seasoning salt. So I mean, it's cultural. It's cultural. It's so. I don't digress. We just
got on seasoning.
It's relevant.
It's relevant. I can make it more relevant, but I shan't.
Just keep going.
I think Alfred Woodard. I always say her name wrong because I want to call her Alfred. Alfred Woodard. She was at the L.A., the one that was in L.A., and she made comments about why she was there. And she said, I'm here because when black women, when non-black women's rights is being infringed upon, I want to be there because I know it's really going to impact me as a black woman. And that kind of threw me off a little bit because...
Why did it throw you off?
Well, for a couple reasons.
Okay. Hey, go ahead.
Because she's married to a white man, so I just, every time I see that, I just be like, okay. Right?
Okay.
All right. But... And it probably is related to the fact that I'm not in support of supporting women's rights as it relates to white women and white feminism because they never cape for us when it's something that's related to us in our community.
Never.
They never do. And so we are expected to always join them to help them. And it isn't 100% wrong that if it's coming for white women, it's going to come for the rest of us. That isn't 100% wrong. But I'm not taking time out of my day to come march with y'all in this fake sisterhood because it doesn't exist. I'm not doing it. Y'all can go do that for yourselves. And so I was a little thrown off with dark-skinned Alfred Woodard with a white husband at this march doing all this talking.
Okay.
And there was quite a few. She was joined with Lupita and Julie Smollett. Is it Smollett? What's her name?
Yes.
And then another black woman, I can't remember her name. She's kind of like C-list. I think she follows you on Twitter. Can't think of her name. I know, that was bad. BC list.
Okay. And she follows me?
Yeah, I think you came for her one time and she got real upset with you.
Oh, you talking about Yvette?
Yes, that is her name.
Yeah. I know Yvette, though.
I'm saying, that's
the one. I know Yvette. And me and Yvette has never gotten along famously. So
About as famous as she is.
I ain't said nothing about you, Vet. So I'm telling you right now, next time I see you, don't come up to me saying I said something about. I didn't say nothing about you. Okay? So just keep it moving. I ain't said nothing. That's these two fools.
Yeah,
Continue.
That was me. Yeah. So, I will always have that position when it comes to these women's marches. That's y'all, because y'all never came for us. With that, I kind of was, threw a little eyebrow that Hollywood women wanted to get in on the women's march, with this, because even though sexual harassment and sexual assault is a woman issue among class, whatever, I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of felt some kind of way that they were able to get up on the podium and they were doing a lot of talking and taking up quite a bit of the podium, because I do agree with the Women's March that voting should definitely be on the agenda.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
Okay. So when we talk about voting, here's something that really bothers me. That most women that are married to men
Yes.
vote along the lines of their husbands.
Yes. Yes.
Truth.
Okay.
Yes.
So whites are still the majority in this country. Am I correct?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So if white men have the power, and they seem to be, if everyone has paid attention, seem to be the more outed group of men, has been more overwhelmingly white male.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Let's keep it there.
Right.
Let's unpack this. And these white women are coming out about white men. And talking about voting.
Right.
Yet you all have a history of voting for financial interests than rights interests. You all vote to protect your money, not your bodies.
Yikes, that's a great.
So is this a call to change that, though? Is that what they're talking about?
I have not heard a single woman get on this podium and say it's okay to vote against your husband. Like, it's okay not to keep voting for what he wants, to the damage to yourself. I've not heard that.
So what are they saying, though?
Oh, we need to get in office. We need to get ourselves in offices. We need to run. We need to support each other's campaigns to get ourselves in office and then vote us into these offices. That is what I'm hearing with regard to voting. Not just, it's okay to have your own thoughts and opinions in voting, and you can vote against your husband.
But they tried that, though.
When?
1 year ago.
Did they?
They tried to vote Hillary Clinton in. The people at this march are not the people who voted for Trump.
Which is why the message should be at these podiums.
Are you sure?
I'm not 100% sure, but I am 80% sure.
Okay.
Because I get the sense there might be some Trump voters in this.
There are some
in this
inner
group.
sparks, definitely. I mean,
and even after this year, I'm pretty sure some were like, "Dang, that might have been a bad idea."
Okay.
So maybe that's what the march is. Maybe they're saying, "Okay," because was attendance up from the last one?
It looks like it.
It looks like it. It legitimately looks like it.
So we may have some people that did vote against their interest.
Yeah.
Saying, maybe we shouldn't do that.
So tell us about you. You met. You actually went to an event this weekend, and you met a woman. We're not going to say names because we don't have her. I don't know. It's up to you to tell everyone what she said about Hillary Clinton, and you had this conversation with me off camera, and I was interested in that.
Let's see. I can't even remember her last name. It might have been Pettit. Her name was Jessica Pettit. She seems to be an advocate for gender issues, gender rights. Very knowledgeable, very smart.
Very smart.
Like actually knows what she's talking about. And, she was discussing gender issues and blah, 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 blah. But she was talking about voting for Hillary. She used that as an example. And I don't want to get this wrong, but she was talking about voting against versus voting for. And I think she talked about not wanting to vote for Hillary, but looking at the alternative, she voted for Hillary. She's like, look at the choices that you have. And so she's like, at some point you can't vote against your own interests. So she's like, I would vote for Hillary, but I never would under other circumstances.
Yeah, she said that she met Hillary and told her to her face,
that she
I would never vote for you.
She told her to her face, I would never vote for you for president.
And then she did.
And then she felt she had to. Okay, so here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say, right? Like you said, that we can talk about the women's suffrage movement, right? And black women were not included in that movement, right? We all know that.
Right.
That it was for white women, by white women to get their voting rights.
Right.
We didn't get ours until when?
Until it said can't discriminate on color.
Right, which was 19 what?
Yeah, right.
Much later.
60s?
The 60s.
Much later.
Okay? And this is the thing that bothers me. We are a collective, but yet there is a overwhelming majority of the people within our community, the African American community, who feels that I don't want to deal with black issues. I want to deal with black women's issues. Right? And I don't want to point the finger at that, but we're always lumped in together when civil rights and rights are being handed out, when they're doled out to us.
Right.
So the white women have a platform to stand up against white men, because let's just call it what it is. It's the people versus the white man.
Yes.
Let's just call it what it is.
That sounds like a great
It's
show.
the people versus the white man. Right?
Right.
Yep.
So why do we dance around the issue, right? The white men are in power of Hollywood. They're in power at Fortune 500. They're in power in politics.
Yes.
They're in
Wall
power
Street,
in
all of
like
it.
every finance, the military.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you go.
That's right.
White men are in power.
Yes.
But yet and still we love to just say men in general. Listen, I have never had power and authority and dominion to rule over anyone, okay? Not anyone. If I slap a black woman, they are coming in there and they will probably shoot me, and they will probably shoot her just for the hell of it. Like, we just shot both of them. Oh, well, whatever, right? We all know if I didn't blink hard at a white woman, you know. So let's call a spade what it is. It is what it is. This is the thing that I find very disturbing, right? On one instance, let's cape for gay men, and then gay men are just as toxic because they have been implemented in harassment of people. Terry Crews had a man that come out, but we bury that.
Right.
We don't talk about it. That is just men. It's just men, and it's white men who are running around here acting crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. But I find it that when you're on Facebook and when you're doing stuff like this, that on a, what did you say, a lateral level.
Yes.
Let's not talk up, let's talk laterally.
Right.
I know white women, I'm very good friends with a white woman who's Republican, she's conservative, and she votes like her husband. Yeah. She votes just like her husband. And I've seen on Facebook, on social media as a whole, when you're going to post, Hillary should go to prison, she's a crook. These white women hate Hillary. And I'm going, this doesn't even make sense to me. Like, this is for you. Yep. You know, and it's bizarre to me, right? But then laterally, again, I know a lot of white women on social media who may date black men and have black friends who yet and still do not literally say, hey, I see you, I recognize you, I'm here to fight for you. I don't see that at all. I still quietly see white women who enjoy the company of black men who do not care for black women, black issues, or blackness as a whole. Right. It goes back to the phrase that pays around FCN in as many days is they want what they want. Yes. So that's.
Yeah, there's some good comments here.
Okay.
Let me read off. So. Tanisha Newman Pruitt said Alfred Woodard is delusional. Karen Moore said, I think you also have to talk about age. The majority of white men are older, i.e. older than 50. So many of these white women at marches are single, divorced, not married. And then Tanisha said, Karen ain't more true, but if they're married and of a certain age, they came up in a different time where following your husband is done, no question asked. And Karen responded, true. But women, white or otherwise, under a certain age are much more independent. Under a certain age are much more independent. They aren't following anyone.
The only reason I can't wholly agree with that is something Dave Chappelle said in one of his first two Netflix specials when he talked about white women being a part of the heist. right? And
Yeah.
not liking their cut. And I feel that they will continue to vote in alignment with their husbands because they do have the power. And you are the closest thing to reaping the benefit of the privileges or advantages or whatever they have of being a part. You're going to make sure that they have it because you're getting direct benefit. Do you not like it sometimes? I'm sure I feel like that's a lot of this. But voting, you can't vote against your financial interests like that.
I don't think they have power. I don't think they have the power. I think they have the positioning. I think they have the...
Which is an advantage.
Which is an advantage.
Yes.
But, and can it give you power, like, over everyone below you? Yes. You know, so I agree with that. I agree with the totality of what you're saying. Again, for me, I think I always want to talk about stuff laterally. The people that's right in front of me, right to the left, to the right, behind me, laterally, that I see every day. And I do not see white women standing up for your rights. You know, when I never see white women talk about sisterhood and include you all.
Never.
So the thing that I want to talk about is, where is the accountability? Like, when are you all going to stop really becoming second-class citizen with white women? When are you all going to say, you know what, excuse my language out there, because I know we have a lot of families that know us, but I have to say this way. When are you all really going to hold yourselves and them accountable and say, you know what, fuck y'all, we're going to remove ourselves from this meeting. We're going to go have a parallel one. Hey, the Latinas, hey, the Asian community, would you all like to join? People of color, to really, because they're not here for us. And I don't see it. I see, you know what I see when I see white women talk about people of color issues, it's always lumped together as people of color.
Right.
You're a woman.
Right.
Be succinct in your thoughts and ideology and what you're caping for. Say black women. Say Muslim women. Say Asian women.
Right.
Say Latina women. Don't say people of color. That is an easy, catch-all, but you're not saying I'm here for black women. Period. I know white women that are married to black men. I know white women that date exclusively black and Latino men, and they do not care for women of color. Right. And that should be problematic.
And it is. It is. And that should be. It is.
Okay.
Who really, truly is looking out for other people that does not align with their own self-interest? Let's be real about this. You see people every now and then that have a real cause that they're passionate for that they are not a part of. And they say, I see a need, I want to fill that need and help that specific group of people out. However, mostly, things like this, groups, that group is aligned with their self-interest. Am I right or wrong?
I'd have to agree with you.
So can we truly be angry with people for aligning with their self-interest when that's what they do?
Can you be angry, or can you ask for you to be responsible?
Okay, and so my second part of that is, you can't be angry at people for self-interest, right? This is my self-interest, right? So on your side, you make that decision. What are you going to do? Are you going to just do black women? Or are you going to, because how many causes even that you've done, women-related, that didn't impact women, black women specifically? Right?
Say that again.
How many causes have you been a part of that were women causes that didn't
exclusively target black women?
Right. That did not include something that was directly related to black women.
It's always, for me, it's going to always be direct.
And that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with that. But why are people asking other people to do this if they're not doing the same thing?
Okay. So that's going to be the theme for the day. That's probably going to be the theme for this entire episode. So I want you to pin that.
Okay.
Make sure we pin it. Put that down. Put a pin in that. Did you have something else on this topic?
Well, you know, we were going to talk about the list that they're creating of abusers. It's funny you were showing that picture, and it made me see that pussy hat that's on. I actually read an article recently where they were calling for women to stop wearing them because the pussy hat was not inclusive of trans women, and I just could not believe it. I know, right? Like, oh my God, Yeah, so another topic for another day.
Who's calling for that, though? Really, who's calling for that? Trans women.
It has to be trans women. But I'm always shocked by the number of cis. I'm still learning to work with it, y'all, okay? Who are like, yes, okay, I'll take it off for you. And I'm like, wait, what? Oh, boy. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Really quickly. So they have to stop identifying as a woman, as a cis woman, to make someone else
feel included. And I just like, where does the buck stop? Where in the world does this stop? I feel like it's kind of related to what you were just talking about of who's included, whose interests are being included here. I was just very thrown off by the whole pussy hat ban to include trans women. But also in alignment with this story was the Hollywood women creating a list of abusers, like a legit Excel spreadsheet, if you will, of people who have done things to them, and you could put them on this list. It reminds me of those opposite of dating websites where you can go on and say, don't date this girl, he's bad, he's this. Like, there's websites like that. I can tell you, I've seen a couple of these lists, and they'll actually tell you the name, what they look like, and how many people have accused them so far. The highest person on this list so far is James Toback. He appears to be a producer or TV or director. At least 238 claims against him. Harvey only has 80, around 80, but he has 238. And it's a long list of just men who have accusers, from one to an actual number to multiple.
So this leads me into what Bill Maher said. Do we have?
Yes, we do.
Let's see what old Bill Maher.
So Bill Maher broke down the concern he has with the Me Too movement. He said that he is a true supporter of this movement, but he has lamented the rise of distinction deniers. He says who can't tell or don't want to see a difference between assault in the van versus a back rub by the water cooler. He says, I'm down with Me Too, but I'm not down with McCarthyism. Yes, McCarthyism. He's like, giving up on the idea that even bad things have degrees. That is as dumb as embracing the idea of alternative facts. Justice requires weighing things, and that is why Lady Justice holds a scale and not a shotgun.
Let me see this.
You want to see that?
Yeah, I think that it's a true supporter of the movement. Okay, so McCarthyism. This is very serious because there are several men that said, I think this is going to turn into a witch hunt.
Yes.
Liam Neeson said it, and there was a little backlash for him saying it. So as a woman, please weigh in on what this statement says to you.
I agree with him 100%. I have gotten dragged a bit when trying to create degrees between, what is happening. I think more recently, Aziz is getting dragged because everybody just wants to lump him into rape and sexual assault, when I'm like, I think there's degrees here of what is happening, and I believe this is more towards the end of misunderstanding, miscommunication, just not being clear versus sexual assault, rapey. Like, that's how I feel. But I agree with him 100%. One, in the witch hunt, where people can just say anything, it is taken as 100% true, and it's literally causing issues with men where they gotta quit their jobs, resign, with just a claim from someone. I'm with him 100%. Unsubstantiated claims is where we are at this moment. You're able to just say it. It is taken as true, and you get to count up the numbers and the tallies just like this list has. I ain't gonna lie, Wikipedia, McCarthyism to really get a true understanding of his use of McCarthyism. Yeah. And I'm like, that is exactly where we are. I'm like, the practice of making accusations of subversion or treason, right, without proper regard for evidence. That's kind of what's happening here.
Well, and I think that when we use the term, the historic term of witch hunt,
right?
Okay, is very apropos because you can literally go, good wife she's a witch. Like, if you did not like a woman, if she did something, if she was unmarried, if she, lived alone and didn't believe if she didn't go to church every Sunday, if she didn't participate in a certain way, it was time to, witch! And they literally burned her, grabbed her up and burned her at the stake. So this is something that I don't know, because it is scary because you want to hold everybody accountable. I tell my children, I tell my family, if I've done something to you, tell somebody. If I've done something to make you feel uncomfortable, go tell somebody else. Have them come to me if you don't feel comfortable, because that is what it is. However, let me say this. I don't know how, this fits, but this is an analogy for me, right? Okay. Right now, I don't have a out relationship status, right? Don't have an out relationship status. I don't have one, right? Say, for instance, that changes for me, right? I have an out relationship status. All the women that right now send me messages, I miss you, I'm thinking of you, I like to see, various women that, how come we didn't work out, right? If my relationship status changes, if I announce an engagement, if I then get married, it will go from I miss you to he did something because of hurt and pain.
Right.
I don't care what it says. People may say something against that analogy, but I'm telling you.
No, but it's a very good one.
I'm telling you, that woman, Grace, about Aziz, literally said, I'm at home watching the Golden Globes and I was triggered. He's out here living his life and he's happy, but he didn't rape you. Right. He did not rape you. Did he miss a few cues? Yeah. Was it a bad day? Yeah. If that's the case, man, listen, this is gonna be a gang of dudes. Right. That's, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm here to tell you, I have had women. I read a joke to you, a comment that, man, I just was trying to get some, and then it turned into me being a sex slave, and she hid my keys. And no one, and I'm not trying to. This is not taking the focus off of women. I'm just trying to show you about the Me Too. What is it? McCarthyism, right? I've known a lot of sexually aggressive women where you're like, nah, I'm chilling. And I have had an adult woman. We were early 30s, and she cried because I did not want to sleep. She had a fit. I don't know why. Why don't you want to sleep with me? And I was like, what? I mean, she had a meltdown because I did not want to have sex.
Yikes. But that wouldn't be the first, second, 10th, 50th time I've heard a story like that from men who are like, hey, I just wanted to chill, and women completely freak out.
They freak out, and so I think that if we're going to talk about the spectrum between assault and sexual misconduct or behaviors or anything like that, let's talk about the entire spectrum. Let's include everyone. Let's hear everyone's voices, and let's move on. And speaking of moving on, let's take a quick... Oh, you had something to say?
I had one other thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Say, other than recognizing the spectrum, we need to recognize timing. I feel like right now is a time where people are just airing out. Yeah. And men or whomever is getting caught up in this airing out of decades, 10 years, 2 years, 5 years of stuff they've been holding on. And I'm like, there has got to be some type of cutoff. Sure, does that come from a legal perspective? Absolutely. There's a reason why we got statute of limitations. Yeah. It's because memories and people should be able to move on without the feeling that it's going to sneak up on them and it's going to snatch everything that they have.
Nah, nope.
What you mean? Nope. People shouldn't be able to live like that?
Nope. Nah, you shouldn't be able to move on. If you rape somebody, if you rape someone,
okay, I think I was talking more of the lines of like the situation with the Z's, right? Like you've been holding on to this. There should have been some closure somewhere,
right?
But wait until
again,
someone.
Let's define this spectrum. That's what I'm saying. Like let's define. Like Bill Maher said it. He said, unwanted sexual growth and rape are both bad.
Yes, they are.
But you have to admit, one is worse than the other.
Yes, it is.
Like let's talk about
yes,
that.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like calling me a nigger is bad, right? Mm-hmm. Seeing my resume, Googling me, and finding out that I'm black and balling my resume up and throwing it in the trash and keeping me from a position to take care of my family and my friends, that's worse. You calling me a nigga okay. Yeah. Your mama like it though, bitch. You know, that's the response. That's the response. That's appropriate, fam. Okay. Your mama like it though. Okay. But you calling me the N-word and you effectively using my ethnicity and my color against me and throwing it in the trash is worse. Yeah. It's worse. Yeah. So one is systematic, the other one is okay, But I don't know. Can we take a break real quick?
Yeah.
Let's take a real break. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. And are we coming back with J. Cole?
We are coming back with J. Cole.
Okay. Oh boy, another accountability story. Yes. Tell them what you're coming back to.
So we're coming back. We're going to talk about Olympic trainer Dr. Larry Nassar. Used to work for Michigan State. Was accused by about 150 young ladies. Was recently sentenced, standing more sentences, so he's in big trouble. A lot of information came out recently, but
that sounds like a whole intro.
Get there.
Okay, thank you. We'll be right back after this break.
Do I have your attention now? Do I have your attention now? Good.
We didn't know who to go to.
Sunday edition.
Nobody didn't know who to go to.
Well, because I guess we're talking about my subject, so I'll go ahead and bring it back in. Before we get on to Dr. Nassar, we want to let Trezene expound on a previous thought. She said, "I want a mulligan."
Yeah. I was talking about statute of limitations, but I really was focusing more on women coming forward. That we can't allow ourselves to hold on to something for 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 years. And I do feel that there should be some accountability there a little bit to come forward and say something. We are in a time right now where you're allowed to just air things out, and we're seeing the I guess, backlash of that. But moving forward, once this kind of dies down a bit, if you will, I think there should be some type of accountability. Like women, if it happens, you got to say something and deal with it right then. That's how I feel. Do I think there should be a statute of limitations on rape? Absolutely not for the perpetrator. But for coming forward to tell the police, make a police report, get your swab. Like, you have to do those things. I feel like there should be some accountability on that end for saying something. And I think that goes into the issue of victim blaming too. Like, you waited how long? Girl, what? You should say something, tell someone, make a report.
Yeah, you got to tell someone.
That's where I am with the time.
And I hope that's where we're getting at this point.
That
all this stuff coming out is like, okay, it's okay now to say it when it happens. You don't have to hold on to it for half of your life. Yes. All right, so speaking of holding on to things, for years and years and years, Dr. Larry, I'm going to say it different every time I pronounce his name, Nassar. He's a trainer. He's a physical trainer. He doesn't train the gymnasts, but he helps them when they have injuries. Help them get the most out of their body. Unfortunately, when they're gymnasting and also behind the scenes. So he's been working for the U.S. Olympic team. He worked with young ladies it's been about 30 years now.
Yikes.
In Michigan. And just a flood of gymnasts came forward and said that he did one thing or another to them, sexually molesting them, touching them in inappropriate ways, all sorts of things, what you can imagine. So there's a couple issues that come up with this, but what I would like to tackle with you guys today is not the fact that he was doing all of this, right? Because he was doing it. He's been caught. He's been sentenced. That part is over. How did he get to this point where 30 years later, it's just now coming out, and other people were involved and were knowing something was wrong? This recalls the Sandusky situation.
Yes.
There were people complicit, and there was no way for him to get this far without being complicit. Somebody else. The U.S. gymnastics team, the university, there were people. The parents.
Right.
I read a story about it. A young lady went to his house. The parents were out of town. A friend of the family dropped her off at his apartment. There's no accountability there for the from these parents.
Let me ask you a question again. Let me ask one more question. Let me ask a question. What was his job again?
He was a physical trainer, he's PT. So if they would get injured or something, he would help them on their recovery, so that they would be able to get back on the floor and continue tumbling.
Was he like the top guy in the United States?
No, and that's the thing. He was good because he worked for the gymnastic team, the U.S. gymnastics team. But part of it was he rode the coattails of the coach that he was best friends with, who was also training young ladies in Michigan.
Yeah.
Who became a coach of Olympic gymnastic ladies. So he was riding his coattails, so that was part of it. Now, he was good. I'm not going to say he wasn't, but he was not the only one that could have been in that position. He wasn't revolutionary in his methods.
Okay.
Where he was like, man, we got to cover this up, otherwise all of our girls will be injured every day. Because I had that same exact thought.
Okay.
How good was this guy
How
that
good
they
was
held
he?
on to him for all of this?
Yeah.
So, but I have another question.
Okay.
Besides getting on the parents, which I want to do. So he had this guy that was the actual trainer. He's the people that were training the girls how to tumble. That was his boy. 30 years. Is it possible for him to not know?
No.
No way.
No. It's impossible.
So my question, is there something about me that you don't know?
I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
Okay.
very hard
I
to
see where
believe.
you're going. Okay.
But I know there's something about you that I don't know about. That you could get away with that I wouldn't know about if you decided not to tell me. You know why? Because I have been friends with you so long that we're brothers, but our friendship has developed through the time spent together. That if you tell me something, I believe it. Unless I was to see a pattern of suspicious behavior.
Okay, and
that's it.
And I'm sorry, that's what I have to challenge this on. Go ahead.
Okay, but what if you hide that from me? You're
Nah.
like, man, I gotta go do this. Okay.
Nah, no. Okay, here's the thing, right? So let's give a scenario.
Okay.
What could something be? Let's come up with a scenario. What is something that that a person could be doing? Let's make it me. Give me something.
Let's say that you have let's say that you have a child that you never told me about, and you're taking care of that child.
Okay. Do you know how quickly you would find out about that?
How?
It would take you no more than about 3 years to find that out.
Yes.
Okay.
No more than 3
Okay.
years. You want to know why?
Yes,
If-
but I know.
Okay. You're around too much. The name will come up one too many times. You will see a picture. There will be enough physical evidence. If, say, for instance, I was running around strangling cats on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be bits of fur somewhere. There's going to be, you're going to be like, you don't even like cats. Why do you have cats around? You know what I mean? Like cat food and, oh, no, don't worry about that. Like, whatever it is, I'm sorry. In under 5 years, you're going to know You're talking about a 30-year relationship. Within any 5-year window of when he would have known he's out here messing with children. And like you said, it's like, let me be very clear here. Hey, fam, you had one of the gymnasts come to your apartment. Whoa, what you doing that for? Man, she's 13 years old. Why you got her come?
Yeah, why would you even do that?
Why would you not married? No, don't do that no more.
Right, you putting us in jeopardy. You putting the organization in jeopardy.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You putting the organization in jeopardy?
Right.
So I'm not going to tell nobody because I don't want to damage your organization, but isn't that what it ends up being?
No.
No, I'm not saying that's what it should be, but isn't that what it ends up being?
No. Listen, you get caught up. It's like, you look like a good guy. When that guy goes out and says, hey, listen, he got to go. He's my friend. He's going to mess with the organization. Man, the machine puts a spin on the organization. Yeah. Josh, there are certain institutions that are too big to fail.
Yep, that's one of them.
That's one of them. I'm sorry,
okay.
That's one of them. That's one of them.
So
that's my opinion on it.
So, and I'm not disagreeing with that opinion.
Yeah.
So why not say anything then? Why are these people not saying anything?
You want to know why people don't say anything? Because they themselves may be.
I think they're in on it too.
They're in on it too.
Okay, but they're in on it because they didn't say anything, right?
Complicity versus.
I was going to say, it seems like maybe, because if it's his guy friends, the guy friends...
No, not his guy friends. U.S. Gymnastics Organization. The people that are giving this man the position to be with these girls, to give him unfettered access, let's say it, to young girls. Why aren't they saying anything when they see something after 35 years? Evidence has come up.
Yeah, let me be honest. Karen A. Moore said they hush it up, money, honey. It's all about the money. People like to ignore things that are right in front of them. But I don't like what you're asking. I cannot answer it.
And my answer is the statement that I said earlier. Everybody, and what you said, it ties into the pin that we put in there. It does this align with my self-interest? Everybody wants what they want. The parents want an Olympic athlete, and this is the track proven. Because what was it, the Fab Five, which was Allie Raisman, Gabby, that group, that group was all touched by this man. And that group all won medals. So this was a track that these kids were on that everybody knew increased your chances. And it wasn't just him, it was the coach. But again, he aligned himself with that coach.
Yeah. And what I read was that people were vouching for him, like that he was great. And like people vouched for him. Like that he was, and the coach, like, I don't know. Let me say this. I don't have enough information in that realm, in that world, just off of what I know. Yeah. I would definitely, it's very uncomfortable to hear this and to know that this type of behavior exists in any organization, and where a child is being damaged. And I think that it's like, what I keep hearing is that, like, it's almost like a rite of passage. Well, this happens to everybody. That like they groom them in that way.
Right. So that's the thing, is that their worth or this activity is placed low on the.
You got a gold medal out of it. Yeah. I mean, you got a gold medal out of it.
Because my thing is,
that's scary.
And I tweeted this. So, Olympic athletes in Russia were putting drugs into their own body, and because it gives them an unfair advantage,
they're banned.
It gives them an unfair advantage, meaning they can beat other people, right?
Yeah.
They get banned. But the U.S. gymnastics team doesn't get banned for allowing young girls.
Yes. Now,
to get molested. Because it didn't affect anybody but those girls. It didn't stop nobody from getting medals.
Well, it didn't stop competition.
Right, that's exactly. Right. It didn't stop competition.
It didn't give an advantage. It didn't stop competition at all.
I don't know.
So we don't have to go delve into this anymore. I had to bring this up because it is so hypocritical, and it is an extremely, like Brandon said, just a nasty situation. It's ugly you don't want to talk about it, but it's out there.
Right.
And I'm hoping that any parents that watch, man, pay attention to your kids. Like, if they're too afraid to talk, don't let them go places by
But the
themselves.
thing is, people want what they want. But this issue is regardless of industry. We talked about it with Matt Lauer, complicity with the organization. It's in churches, complicity with all the leadership and people not saying nothing and covering and not having accountability. It's across the board.
It's across the board. Tanisha says on Facebook, they're a gold medal team, so they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that they stay a gold medal team, even if it includes selling access to children. Jesus. Oh, my God. Every time I hear it, it breaks my heart. That's.
I think we can move on from this. I think we've explored it as much as possible. And, again, it's a topic that we've addressed in different forms.
Okay. Let's cleanse the palate. Let's take another break. We want you all to see this. Please watch this. We're begging for you. We literally are begging that you see this promo. Look at the link in the video in our feed right now. I think we're gonna put it out.
Yeah, the link is also in the description.
Vote. Here, we want to take a quick look at this and why we're asking you to vote on this. Okay, so take a look at this video clip right now, please.
Hello, FCN family. We'd like to take just a moment of your time to implore you to vote for Ebony Trice's Clean Clothes Project. The link is in the description. It's in the comments. Go click, go vote. This is an amazing program where they clean clothes for the homeless for free. It's a blessing. It's needed. Thank you for supporting.
So, yes, please vote. Did you all see where to go? Mission accomplished. I love their organization.
Yes.
I donate often to them. They have a drive on Fridays. They do a $5 Fridays where you donate $5 and it buys laundry detergent and things like that to go towards helping the homeless get their clothes washed and they get to have dignity. It is one of my favorite charities out there. They're located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yes.
A young woman, what's her name?
Ebony Trice.
Ebony Trice is her name. Why are you looking at me like that?
Trice.
Ebony Trice is her name. Thank you for telling me that. I did not know. I did not know this. So, what's the next topic?
All right, so the next topic. Oh, yes, this is the hot topic for the day.
Yeah.
We have Miss Monique.
Okay, here we go.
Y'all
better listen. Hold on, real quick. Y'all better tell. Now it's time. Y'all better tell everybody to watch this. Now, y'all share this.
Yeah, if you ain't hit that share button, this will be the time to do it.
Hit the share button because we finna go in now. Like this is okay. Monique, go.
Monique, she made a video, posted it to the interwebs, where she was calling for a boycott of Netflix for gender bias and for racial bias because she was offered a Netflix comedy special, yay, but was only offered $500,000. She said Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock got offered millions, Amy Schumer got offered millions, and I see racial and gender bias. Please boycott Netflix. I ain't gonna lie, I saw this and was like, girl, is you crazy? You is crazy. I couldn't believe it. But then I think even just before or after we had issue with Tracee Ellis Ross talking about a gender pay gap with her co-star, what's his name, Mr. Ill Bill? Yeah, Mr. Wide Back. What's his wide back and his arms like, oh, he's so ill built. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, but she's getting paid significantly less than him, and so there were some reports that she was saying she was going to scale back her appearances on Blackish.
Start there. So what did she say?
So
this is Tracee Ellis Ross.
This is Tracee Ellis Ross. So it was saying that she was going to reduce her appearances on Blackish because she wasn't getting what she wanted for the show. She issued a statement saying that there has been a lot of conversation about it. She said actually she's in renegotiation because it is the 4th season of a successful show. She said that is normal to be in renegotiation around this time for salary. She said she wanted to be compensated in a way that matched her contribution to the show. And then she says the words and thoughts in the original article about her saying that she was going to kind of step away from Blackish a bit. She says those words weren't hers. She said there have not been any threats. She wishes that reporter would have called her to confirm that. She says she feels it's awkward that her renegotiations have become public conversation, but she is grateful for the outpouring of support for her standing up for herself with this with this pay issue. She said she's thankful for these conversations. Blah 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 blah.
Okay. So what's your initial thought there?
Well, my initial thought when I saw it was very good. I'm like, yes, girl, stand up for yourself. You are funny. Blackish, to me, doesn't really give her room to be super amazing as she is. I don't know too many people who are watching Blackish for Anthony Anderson. Many people watch for some of the other characters. So I felt that if there was a huge discrepancy in pay between her and Anthony, I felt that was truly off the mark.
Okay.
And so that she definitely would be someone to support for a gender pay discrepancy issue, because she is hot. She does so much in the industry. People love her. She's always hosting. She's on she is just an amazing talent, and she gives it to us all the time, like 100%.
Would you say that she's positive for the community? Would you say she's very positive?
She's very positive.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes.
As far as the court of public opinion, where's her standing with the public?
Very high.
Very high. How about the African American community?
Very high.
Okay.
Very.
White America?
Even with white America.
Even with white America,
I believe Trace Ellis Ross is high.
Okay. So for her to have an issue like, hey guys, I got to renegotiate, I'm not getting paid, and it's the fourth season, like it's going,
yes, the fourth
and it's
season.
time, and they're successful.
Yes.
So she took. Let's all talk about this. She took the initial salary.
Yes.
For an untested show,
yes,
to just be like, hey, let me take this and see what happens.
For 3 seasons.
For 3 seasons. Moving to season 4. Hey, guys, we're successful. Our numbers are strong. Doesn't seem that we're going to. We have a spinoff. It's so strong we have a spinoff.
Yes.
We need to renegotiate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we all said, yes, that's what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
You get your foot in the door. You show and prove. You say, hey, I think it's time that when it's time to talk about raises and renegotiation, like this is what I bring to the table.
This is the value I bring to the table.
I bring to the table. Okay. Now, let's talk about Monique. Now, what?
We got a comment. Can I read a comment about Monique, or you want to talk first?
I want to talk first.
Okay,
I want to really get into this about Monique. Let me unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time Monique had a starring vehicle where she was the star or the co-star?
Precious.
2009. 2009. Okay, she took home the Academy Award for that.
Mm-hmm. That was almost 10 years ago when we think about it.
That was almost 10 years ago.
Yikes.
Okay, and what has she done since then?
A bunch of D-list movies with all black cast that are also C and D.
Well, since Precious, Steppin', the movie, Aunt Clara, that was her role. Blackbird, 2014. Mm-hmm. From 2009 to 2014.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, Claire Rousseau, then Bessie. Mm-hmm. She was Ma Rainey in 2015. Mm-hmm. 2016, Interwoven, she was Barbara. And Almost Christmas 2016, she was Aunt May. So she has been out here playing. She is now everybody's favorite aunt.
Yes.
Okay, when was her last comedy special?
That horrible, I could have been your cellmate. She did every 10 minutes throughout the special in that ugly outfit.
Okay,
on that
Monique,
stage.
I could have been your cellmate. Her last comedy special was 2007.
Oh, I thought it was 2007.
2007.
And it was poorly produced.
Okay, let's not talk about. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wait, I don't want that opinion.
Okay.
I'm trying to establish a timeline and facts first. So, Monique then went out and said this. This is what Monique said. She said, hey, my loves, I'm asking that you stand with me and boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias. I was offered a $500,000 deal last week to do a comedy special. However, Amy Schumer was offered $11 million, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle $20. Then Amy went back and renegotiated $2 more million because she said, I shouldn't get what a man is getting rid of the legends. However, I should get more, and Netflix agreed. When we asked Netflix to explain the difference, why the money was so different, they said, well, we believe that's what Monique will bring. We said, what about my resume? They said, we don't go off of resumes. Then we asked them, what about Amy? And they said, well, she sold out Madison Square Garden twice, and she had a big movie over the summer. Is that not Amy Schumer's resume? True. And then Netflix said, by the way, we believe Monique is a legend too. Why shouldn't I get what legends are getting? Please stand with me and boycott of Netflix. I love us for real. Okay. Monique, you didn't sell out of prison.
All right, well, I think we can go on to the next topic.
Close the piano.
You're going to open it, you're going to close it. What?
Listen, man. Listen. This is something I want to say to you black people out there. Okay? You all consistently piss me off. Not long ago, you made fun of Jada Pinkett Smith, who said we should boycott the Oscars because they do not adhere to black people and us being included, right?
Right.
Everyone said of Jada Pinkett, oh, you only saying that because your husband didn't get nominated, right? You out here, this is black folks, right? Nobody didn't want to do it. I'm still going to watch the Oscars, right? So Monique comes out and says this, and if Netflix did contradict themselves. Y'all talked about Amy's resume. Her recent accomplishments, that's her resume, okay? You all shouldn't have got into a battle over words there because you played yourself
they
there.
used the wrong words.
You used the wrong words,
You
yes.
meant relevance.
Relevance.
You meant relevance.
The recent, like she just had Trainwreck at that time, which was $110 million box office success off of $35 million investment.
Yes.
That's a success.
Yes.
She has had a successful show on Comedy Central.
Yes.
Inside Amy Schumer. Inside Amy, I don't know because I didn't watch. I don't care. And let's really get this clear.
Yeah, not a fan of Amy.
She's not funny.
She's not funny.
No.
She is a hack. She has stolen her material from everybody.
Yes.
Period, point blank.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So what's funny to me, these two women are on the same level to me. I could care less. I could care less. Neither of these women have been knee-slapping funny to me.
Right.
Neither of them.
Right, neither.
Here's the problem that we must talk about. Netflix gave Amy Schumer, how much money again? $11 million.
Yes.
And guess what happened, people? They lost their shirt on that investment. Her comedy special flopped.
Yes, badly.
It flopped.
Yes, badly.
Horribly. The leather special did not produce.
No.
So for Netflix, they like, hey man, we cannot keep doing this.
Right.
I think that this is bad timing. Monique, you just came in. If Amy Schumer popped, they might have been like, hey, shit, we'll throw some money at Monique then. Right? That's number one. Number two, Monique, you ain't done nothing of relevancy in comedy in I don't know how long.
So long.
What are you talking about? What have you done? What if you want to talk about resumes? And I say this, I've said this about when I put out a list of people that were overrated, and I said Bernie Mac was overrated, and people came for me about that, right? And I said, well, tell me his classic comedy special, and I get crickets. Nobody ever says anything to what I'm talking about. Right. They just want to cape for the people that they like, and I'm not here for that. Right. I don't care if I love you. If I love you and you put out something garbage, I'm going to say it's garbage. Right. That is my job. And Monique has not one classic special under her belt. No. Let me tell you something. Monique, you're dumb as hell.
Dumb.
You should have taken that $500,000.
Yes.
You should have taken the platform of Netflix that everybody is watching. You should have went out and found every one of your comedic friends and said, give me jokes. You should have taken that $500,000
and made yourself relevant.
And you should have gone out and delivered one of the greatest stand-up specials, and Netflix would have been begging on your door, Monique, we need another one. Like, now we can renegotiate.
Now we can talk numbers.
So,
let me hear.
We're talking about numbers.
Yeah.
You want what you're worth. What you're worth is what other people, right? I mean, we're talking about a supply and demand system.
Please talk about
people are willing to pay for this service, right? What is she getting paid right now? Somebody comment. What's she getting paid for right now?
I'm
nothing.
Nothing. And not only that, but let's talk about the things she keeps doing to give negative value to herself. Who she come for? She came for Oprah. She made negative comments about quite a few people in the industry. She keeps making terrible PR mistakes. Listen, don't nobody want to work with you. And we all know that Oscar went to your head, ma'am. So you think you are too good to do it. Listen, your value is below the zero. Nobody wants to work with you. Yeah. And here comes Netflix with your opportunity to reestablish yourself, reestablish your brand. You could have came out and done a confessional, been vulnerable, and used this.
Her Richard Pryor after he set himself on fire. She could have came out and owned it.
Yes.
And shown herself to have been whatever.
Yes. Even Chappelle when he came back. From him going away.
Yes.
Like that moment.
Yes. But where your people at? Where are your people, Monique, who could have told you, you need to see the value in having this huge platform that Negroes is watching because Netflix got a huge black viewership. We know that. So where are her people?
Well, who else got people that they listen to?
Oprah. Listen, Oprah got a Stedman. If y'all don't know, Stedman been advising this woman since they got together. He is a PR pro. He was a PR pro and a branding pro before he met her.
Well, if anyone knows this, Monique listens to her husband, and if that's what she's listening to, he's not a Stedman. He's a dumbman. He's a dumbman. He is a flat out dumbman. Because she's always talking about what my husband said. And listen, I'm all for listening to but you are a dumbass man. You hey, baby, hey, take that file. It's about the opportunity.
Yes.
You cannot always put a dollar amount. If you're a stand-up comedian, right, and you killed it, you can go out and do a tour that you can go. Listen, Kevin Hart produced the last 2 specials he produced on his own.
Yep.
And he pocketed every last penny of that. She could have gone out and made $20 million off of $500,000.
Yes.
Smart. You give me right now. You give someone. I don't care who's out there. Y'all give us a $50,000 opportunity. Yeah. I guarantee you. We're gonna be like, hey, come on. That we know easily is a $1.5 million opportunity. We gonna take the 50.
Yep.
And we gonna turn it out. And y'all gonna be like, Y'all got any more of them Ritz crackers? Goddamn. What was that? That wasn't no regular saltine cracker, was it? Listen, she's stupid. Yeah. And then here's the next part of it, right? Here's the next part of it that really bothers me. She's asking, why shouldn't I get what legends are getting? I don't know what her legendary status is.
What?
And you know what? You black people out there, y'all piss me. She don't listen.
Legend.
Listen, y'all. There's 2 words that egg the hell out of me. Legend, goat, and bright. Okay?
I'm going to say genius.
Bright, genius, y'all are not, everybody's not listen. There are only a couple genius. There are only a legitimate couple genius out there, okay? Yep. Richard was a genius. Richard Pryor was a genius. Everybody else are his children. Everybody else are his children.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He was a genius.
Right.
You all studied under him. Okay? You might get another genius out of that. Because who was Socrates and then Aristotle? Is that how it went? Or was it Aristotle and Socrates?
No,
Socrates, Aristotle,
and then it was a third. So it was,
Right? And all the credit goes to the first, right?
Yes.
Socrates
was the father.
Yes.
And then they just improved or
they
adapted his original theories.
His theories, right? So there's Richard. There's Eddie. And it's the rest of y'all. It's the rest of y'all. Yeah. So here's my thing here. Here's what bothers me. So one, she believes she's a legend. Monique is not a legend.
You're not.
She does not have one special. Not one.
You just been in a game for a minute.
Reggie Beth said Monique is absolutely a black woman comedian legend. If she's not, who is?
It's not. I don't think Monique is a legend at all.
Whoopi Goldberg is, listen.
Yes.
Whoopi is at the top of, Mom's Mabel, first and foremost. Mom's Mabel
is at the top of that. Absolutely.
Is at the top of that list. Then you get Whoopi Goldberg. And it's just like I just said.
Yeah, we
I just
everybody
defined
else.
it. Richard, Eddie, everybody else. Moms, Whoopi, everybody else. And if you have a problem with that, listen, do your history, because the playing field, these were the geniuses.
Yeah.
And the rest of y'all were students. The rest of y'all were following suit.
Just because you've been in the game for a minute, that doesn't automatically give
that
you
doesn't
the
make you a
status
genius.
of legend, a genius, an
What are we
innovator.
talking about?
If Monique is legendary, then Adele is a legend.
Listen, Adele, listen, you grew up with her. You grew up with them. You watched Def Jam.
Yes.
And if we're going to be honest here, Adele is funnier than Monique.
Yes. Yes, she is.
Listen, Miss Laura is by far the funniest of all.
Yes.
I don't want to get off into that.
Yes.
But listen, Moms, Whoopi, the rest of y'all, like don't kid yourself. If you grew up with them, that's fine. I'm not discrediting your love for them, but know your history.
Right.
Moms, Whoopi sold out arenas. Whoopi's one-woman show was let's talk resumes.
That's body of work now. If you want to go into body of work, listen, that's not even a conversation to be had. Whoopi and Monique. That's not even a conversation.
Come on, man.
Don't waste our time with that kind of a comparison. Not at all.
So here's my thing. Please stand with me in this boycott.
I'm not.
No. Why is it? Let me say this. Black folks ain't had a successful boycott since when?
Montgomery bus boycott.
Let me tell you black people something. You all are so afraid to sacrifice and to stop doing something for your own sake and own goodness. It is sad that you all are out there caping for someone, but at the same time, you're not putting your money where your mouth is. So if anyone wants to challenge me, I challenge you. I want to challenge you to the Monique challenge. If you all think that I am wrong about her status, then challenge the revolution in my Monique challenge and show me, screenshot your cancellation of Netflix to show me that you are serious about your support for Monique. If not, by all means, please shut the entire fuck up. I don't want to hear it. I don't. She's dumb.
Yes.
She should have taken the money and blown up. I'm not saying she doesn't have the talent.
Right.
I'm not saying she doesn't have the ability.
Right.
I'm saying this was her chance to rebrand herself and have a moment that, like, man, a lot of us don't get these moments. Netflix, the premier digital content streaming service, is giving you an opportunity. Yeah. I'd have been like, you give me the opportunity, I'm finna make the most of it. Let's run it. I'm finna show out. If Netflix called me right now and say, hey, Ravo, we want you to do a comedy special, I'm like, let's get it. I guarantee y'all it's going to be, listen, they going to say like, hey, man, the Revolution's comedy special, I'm putting that on par with Dave Chappelle. Like, and I'm there like, hey, I don't know whose was better now. The Ravo's comedy special was amazing. I'm going out there and I'm working with everybody. And I'm going to put out, listen, I'm going to come out there and give y'all a show like y'all ain't never seen before. Netflix, y'all can give me $20,000. Give me 20 grand. Give me, you know what? Give me a spot on Netflix to do a comedy special.
Like, y'all cover the cost of it. Listen,
you give me the venue. I tell you where to go. Listen, I'll make it so cheap. I would have the Ravo special in Gary, Indiana.
Listen.
Their budget will be about
at the Genesis Convention
$700.
At the Genesis Convention Center. Listen, and everybody, I sell it on my resume. He sold out the Genesis. He sold out the Genesis. So what's your thoughts moving away from that?
Again, it goes to I'm always an advocate from a business perspective of having people who will advise you to do well. I don't think she's had anybody to advise her to do well in a long time because she's been making poor mistakes since getting that Oscar and moving forward. And so this is a missed opportunity for her, particularly if I might say, Tiffany Haddish is kind of hot right now and relevant. and you got an opportunity to really come on that level. Like, you are dumb.
Listen, that's just like legit. I never even thought of that, and I'm glad you said that. You like, oh wait, so they really checking for black women comedians right now? Tiffany Hot, I'm finna burn her. If I'm if I'm Monique, I'm gonna show you like, oh, y'all want to see what a legend looks like? Y'all want to see what a legend looks? I'd have been Monique. I'd have been hungry. I'd have been like, hey y'all, Netflix said your girl getting a special. I see y'all in 6 months. And you be like, whoa. I'm finna burn it down. And you like, oh, Monique listen. And I would have been like,
I'm ready to watch it.
Because you would have been like, be afraid, be very afraid. She could have cut one of the best promos.
The best.
And you like, oh, if Tiffany out there, and you like, yo, Monique gonna bring some heat. She ain't finna be cooning and all that. Monique finna bring some heat. Yes. She's got some pent up stuff, and you were hoping that she would craft it well. And this could have been, who said this? Raphael said Netflix is where careers go to be reborn. Woo! How you fail at getting a second win. That
ego.
And you know what ego stands for? Easing God out. You didn't listen to that God voice and say, sit down, be humble, sit down.
God sound like Kendrick now?
God sound like Kendrick, be humble. Sit down.
That's where he got that voice from.
That's where he got it from.
It's not of this earth.
It's not. So listen, I would have been in such support of that move.
Yes.
And she would have blown back up. She would have got another show somewhere. Yeah. She would have we would be like going, Monique did it. You know, and then she could have maybe even apologized to Oprah and them like, yo, I was on one. I don't know what a bitch was thinking. Yes. I went after Oprah with Dales and Tyler like, well, I know not do that again. Like, and you go, girl, like, and the humility and then making fun of yourself. And Richard made fun of himself. He came right out on Sunset Strip and was like talking about freebasing cocaine and set himself on fire. He was like, oh, man. That's a pretty motherfucking blue. Like, he made fun of himself. And you know what? And I tell anybody who says this, the reason when Eddie came down off of my list, because Eddie did not come out with Eddie needed to come back and he needed to address everything. Chris went up as far as a stand-up to me. Chris took Eddie's spot.
Okay.
Chris took Eddie's spot because Chris addressed those issues of himself. Yes. You have to. Eddie has always bothered me in his career, and everybody knows out there, I patterned so much of my life to influence off of Eddie Murphy. Yes. But Eddie is not God. He is not the greatest. My favorite black male comedian is actually Damon Wayans. Damon was so offbeat, and I loved his style, but Eddie was my favorite. You know, like, I just like, oh, Eddie's got it. He had a great cadence. But I'm sorry that she did that. But black folks, y'all gotta chill. You all and your wanting to cape for people, but not go all the way. Nobody's listening to that. Any comments out there that y'all wanted to?
Oh, I was gonna mention Reggie's comment about Wanda. He says, you want to read?
Before that, he said her plea for a boycott was a misstep. If we're talking about black women, especially in entertainment, demanding what they're worth, she's absolutely right. Go ahead.
And then he says, Wanda Sykes also said she was appalled by Netflix's offer and went to Epix. I think Wanda's situation is very different from Monique's. Wanda Sykes relevant. It's all about relevance. I think Wanda
relevant. Wanda stays on the stage.
She stays.
She's had a special not too far back. Wanda is a working comedian's comedian.
Yes.
And so, if I were Wanda, go ahead.
So she knows what her worth is because she's getting paid for that thing right now.
Right now.
What is, Reggie, I have to challenge you on this. What is Monique's worth?
Like, you can't pay somebody for what they did back then.
Your worth is what people are willing to pay for you. This is basic economics.
It's basic economics. And, you know, and I'm sorry this falls at her foot. You know, what's the black comedian? What's her name that's on Cheryl Underwood? Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about this.
Yes. Okay.
If Netflix went to Cheryl Underwood.
To offer her $500,000.
No. Oh. What do you think the offer to Cheryl Underwood be? More than $500,000? Same or less?
More.
How much more? Just knee jerking. Just
2 to 5 million.
2 to 5 million. Tell me why Cheryl Underwood would get offered 2 to 5 million.
She's on that version of The View. Ain't she still on that show?
She's on
Whatever
CBS's
Yes.
daytime talk show.
Yes.
So she's seen by millions of people. So you're telling me that she's on a Viacom, CBS,
Yes.
Paramount program every day.
Mm-hmm.
She is probably the most visible black female comedian.
Yes. Yes.
And you would think she would get more money.
Of course she gets
Because that's smart, because she has an audience
That's
that
what-
sees her every day.
and opining every day, giving commentary every
That's
day.
all I'm talking about.
That's
I'm
it.
coming from business. I'm talking X's and O's. I'm not talking about what you did in the past.
That's right.
You're going, man, who has the most visibility? And let me say this. There are a lot of black bloggers out there
Mm-hmm.
who get used to come on to TV shows and to
Yes.
get on panels
Yes.
because they have 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
You're not on there because you have a voice
Right.
that
Right.
you are actually right. You're
That's
coming there because you have...
You will bring eyes.
You will bring eyes. You will bring your followers with you.
Yes. Yes.
And they said, Monique, right now you have $500,000 worth of followers.
That's right.
Period. Dot.
And
Blank.
the proof is going to be in how many people boycott Netflix.
And guess what I've seen? A whole bunch of people said, I ain't boycotting
Right.
shit.
So no way at all. No
Okay.
way.
Well, I don't know. Y'all, you give me the sign
Yeah,
to
wrap it
that
up.
All
Wrap
right,
it up.
you gonna wrap that one up? All right. So, any comments, please? We're gonna say whatever else real quick. So, do you have the comment that was made about this or no?
Cardi.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
nah, I didn't. Cause
you don't have this.
I
Okay,
don't have
so
this.
I think let me read what I saw out there. So, so Offset had in a verse recently. Her fiance Offset in a verse recently had what has been a homophobic slur.
Mm-hmm.
He said he don't hang with.
He don't vibe with
He
queers.
don't vibe with queers.
Uh-huh.
And there was a lot of backlash from that. And Cardi B came to his defense,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Let me find this. I'm so sorry. Did I send this? Where is this at?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
'Cause I hate that. Like, and people don't try it. I don't care. Y'all can leave. Talk about me later.
Boom.
You found it?
Got it.
Yeah. wait.
Okay. Say what did she say? Because she said something that was very interesting to me, and I think that this is something I want to discuss really quickly before we close the show out. Cardi B. What was her comment?
So she said, she went on Periscope Live. She said, I'm not going to let somebody call him homophobic because when I know that he's not, and I'm not saying this because, and I'm saying this because I've seen him around these guys. He treats them with the same respect he treats everyone. He never acts uncomfortable and he just don't care. She said, he told her he wasn't aware of the word's homophobic implications. It has a different vocabulary in the dictionary. Now, that's a word you guys say it's a bad word for gays. I never even heard that word in the first place. She's like, why don't y'all educate people about it? A lot of people are not aware what's right or wrong in the LGBT community. Why don't we do things to educate instead of bashing and trying to label someone something that they are not? Our schools never teach us that these are bad words. She also explained that until she was told otherwise, she didn't know the word tranny was considered offensive. She said, I did not know that that was a bad word because trans people use it. She said, let's not front like they don't.
Okay. So let's unpack this, right? First and foremost, a lot of people were dragging her on social media. Telling her, oh, you know that all the gays and the lesbians and the LGBTQ community that you're around, you know what that word means and the implications, da-da-da-da, right? So let me explain something from my personal life before I continue. I grew up in a Jewish household. And one day I'm speaking very freely and carefree, and I use a term that has been used around me from friends in my neighborhood my entire life. And I said the term, someone Jewing me, that I was Jewed, or right? And the old man lost it and came in there. He lost it. And I've never been more afraid in my life because, not that I was afraid of physical violence, but because I didn't know what I did, I didn't know what I said. Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm growing up in a Jewish household. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then I had to be educated on something that I should have known. But if no one sat down and said, this term is derogatory, no one educates you. Right. I never knew. I was a kid at this time. I never knew JEW was synonymous with this. Right. Then I found out that saying the term gyp.
Yes, I remember as a kid getting completely yelled at for saying that. I'm like, I didn't know.
It's about gypsies.
Right, I had no clue.
And there's so many, and you don't know. I didn't know that the song on the ice cream truck was about niggas.
What?
Was a slave song, was one of those. It's a bad song. Go listen to it. I didn't know this. Everyone doesn't know everything. I don't care how many people you're around.
Right.
You don't know. And this is what I really want to talk about in that. Mm-hmm. If the LGBTQ community wants everyone else to be tolerant, why aren't you so tolerant?
Right.
Why aren't you understanding that people do not understand every single thing that's in your walk of life? Mm-hmm. Why don't you pull them to the side and say, hey, let me talk to you about that word real quick. Do you know what that means? Mm-hmm. Let me talk to you about it. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? You go a long way in creating allies, educated people.
Yes.
But when you say, that's not my job to educate you, no, it is your job.
That's right.
That is your job.
Exactly your job.
It is your job to non-confrontation be like, hey, where'd you hear that from?
Right.
What do you know about that word? That's not a great word to use. I just want to let you know that historically that word is just like when everyone tried to come against black people and say, y'all all trying to find racism and everything about the little boy wearing the coolest monkey in the jungle. No, historically, calling us monkeys is a racial epithet. Right. Period. Right. And we're not here for it. So if the LGBTQ community says, hey, yes, sir.
The LGBT what?
Q community.
What does Q stand for?
Queer. Which I never thought was
derogatory. Not only that, the woman that has been well studied, that is supposedly a subject matter expert on this situation, who we saw speak yesterday, said the word queer was a preferred terminology.
Yes. That's why I'm like, what in the world? What in the world?
So that's not it. It isn't because he called them queer. He said, I don't
vibe
with queers. So you have to vibe with us.
Oh, God.
You have to accept me.
Okay. Here's the thing. So let me say this. I hear what you're saying, right? I'm not challenging. I just want an addition. No. He has a platform. He is in the Migos. He is in the hottest group right now. And if they have a big follow-up album, they will be in the contingent. Like if they come out with a second album that's just as hot as this one and does numbers, we will start talking about Migos being one of the greatest groups. Maybe not of all time, but we're going to put them, we can talk about them in a discussion. Yes. He has a platform. He has people listening. Again, we're talking, he's up here. He's a celebrity. What about all the people that he's speaking to down here? And then it goes out laterally. If you say this, I don't vibe with those people, all your listeners, all your fans, everybody else is going to say, well, I don't vibe with him either. And then guess what happens? You start going from not vibing with them to turning into, well, I don't not only vibe with them, but F them. If I don't vibe with them, then let's beat them up. And now we continue to have that cycle of violence against a class of people that historically have been physically assaulted for their choices in life.
Right. So then what you are saying is it was irresponsible.
Yes.
In the social scheme of things.
Yes.
So why is that not the conversation that we're having?
I don't know. I think that the education should have been the conversation, and I think that we should have looked at that instead of everything else. You have something?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
Because he's closer to my age.
What does age have to do with it?
Say it.
In my generation, I've been always raised where we don't necessarily mean stuff derogatory based on that kind of purpose. So, you know, if you walk into a room, for instance, right, and you getting into with people and be like, all you B words, right? Some people gonna be like, did you just call me a B word? But others gonna be like, you ain't talking to me, you know? Because you can't be talking to me. I ain't did nothing to them. So my whole perspective on this situation was, why did y'all get so offended by it if you know he wasn't?
But the average person doesn't know. If you don't know him, how can you qualify his intent and the content of his character and heart in a comment if you do not know him? So here's my question to you. You're in a room, you and 100 black people are in a room, your age, and 5 white guys walk into the room. And they like, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that. What's your immediate thought process? Legit. Don't overthink about it. Don't give nobody nothing. What is your initial? You don't know you don't know them, and they come in here, nigga this, nigga that. Which?
Oh, you ain't getting out this room.
Oh, okay.
Right. I was gonna say I feel like this is more of a who said it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you were queer and said I don't vibe with queers, wouldn't be a problem. If he would have said I don't vibe with bitches and be like, wait, what? If I said on a rap album I don't vibe with bitches, it would not be a problem because I am female.
Now it would be. Everything's a problem nowadays.
Nah, that wouldn't have been a problem. I think it's who said it.
It's not just who said it, because and Reggie said if someone said they don't vibe with Negroes, there would have been an uproar, which is absolutely true. But if a black man said it, it would have been an even bigger uproar.
Yeah, it would have been a huge. If a black dude said, if a black dude that was successful said, man, I don't vibe with Negroes, we'd be like, what? He'd have been canceled. Which brings me to my next thing. Mm-hmm. Cardi B was the jewel of everyone's, and they start dragging her, right? Mm-hmm. And then, she canceled. What is it with this new culture of canceling? Mm-hmm. Why are we the cancel culture? Why is it when someone does not share the same opinions and beliefs as you, it's not just seen as, we don't share the same thoughts, but it's now time to cancel them. Why do we have to cancel everybody? What is that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm kind of looking at the language of cancel, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like because people subscribe too soon, and when you really start getting to some real conversations, you gotta cancel. So it's almost like you hit subscribe for the trial, and you caping for them, and then the stuff, and now you gotta cancel. I feel like we are in a time now where everyone kind of jumps on a bandwagon. They see something, I'm gonna go with that. It's hot right now, and I'm gonna be on that train. And then all of a sudden, they do one little thing you don't like, and it's something about this culture of quick subscription.
Yes. I agree with that. I do. I think people are so quick to. People were quick to get on with her because of whatever her story was that they liked. And now it's like, that was like this. And it's like, okay, really though, let's check her work. How good is her work? How many hits does she have? She had one hot hit, right?
No, she has 5. She has 5 singles currently.
Because she broke that record or tied the record, right?
No, she has 5 singles.
But didn't they compare her to a record that?
One song broke Lauryn Hill's record, since Lauryn Hill. So what's your point?
I was saying that when that song came out, that's when everybody was on her, and then
she had a growing. She was growing.
How I perceived it, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
She had a growing, hip hop. We were listening to her, but then when Bodak Yellow hit, it exploded. And then everybody was putting her on features, and she just keeps escalating. She has 5 hit singles on the Billboard charts simultaneously. Like, she's big. But let me address something real quick. Starla K. Mathis said, didn't you just cancel Monique? I did not.
What?
No.
I did not cancel Monique. I said she was stupid.
Yeah, we didn't cancel her.
Me.
He also just said I would have watched her special if she would have done it.
I was completely excited, and I think her movements were dumb. I didn't say that, Monique is canceled. She out of here. She done. I didn't say that. I'm going to need to say this. I'm not a subscriber to, again, I'm not a fan. That's the problem with a lot of you people out there. Is you're a fan. You're too tied to your fandom. And I tell you once, I'll tell you again, abandon your fandom. This is how you go down with ships. Mm-hmm. You go down with ships because you're tied to, you are tethered to them. I didn't cancel Monique. And I'm not mincing words. Right. I'm not splitting hairs. I said she was dumb. Mm-hmm. Said her husband was dumb. Now if she goes back and she figures something out, then hey, success and kudos to her. But her movements are dumb. Yes. I'm not a part of cancellation because everybody can have redemption, especially from a group of people who are monolithic worshipers. If you have a deity that's positive, everyone's supposed to be forgiven. Everyone has a redemption coming their way. So what are we talking about here? So nevertheless, I wish them well. I think that she said something that was very interesting. That's why I brought up my story. Mm-hmm. She wasn't educated. She said her parents didn't know. Like people are like Tone said that we just say words, but that comes to someone didn't teach you. Right. You weren't taught. Mm-hmm. If you were, what did I tell you about ignorance? Like I always don't like when people say you're ignorant. No, what I don't like is when you didn't have the information. Someone says, "Hey, let me tell you something. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say that." And you go, "Oh, okay, yeah, but I still like the way the word is, so I'm gonna still use it."
Yeah, that's another level of ignorance.
Yeah, that's another. Now this is a problematic now because you didn't know. We shouldn't beat up people for not knowing. We should beat you up when you've been told and you continue to do it. Right. And so if they've not been educated, if someone says, "Hey guys, I didn't know. I wasn't educated," can't we take them at their word and educate them?
Right, because if you had paid attention to anything about Cardi B, you can tell she's definitely on the end of not educated in some of these matters. I cannot
not even some of these matters. Yeah, she's very low educated, and I don't it just is what it is. If you listen to her interviews and you watch her talk, why are y'all trying to hold her up? Does she talk?
It's the most ignorant thing. Listen, and y'all trying to hold her up here, and it makes no sense.
Right.
Again,
so how can you attack someone
or cancel them? You should have known at the time of your subscription. I want to talk about
just the immediate attack. Just the initial attack. Like, you all know she's not bright. So what are you? And I'm not coming for dancers out there, but let's be real. The myth of the dancer paying her way through law school is just that. It's a myth. Okay? Strippers are strippers for a reason. Strippers are strippers, so what does it mean? You and I together and these dollars fly. Understand what makes a woman get on that pole. Just help me understand. Strippers are strippers.
That's funny. I got a lot of lawyer friends who wish we had stripped our way through law school.
You would have made that money like, wait a minute, why am I going to law school?
What?
I'm finna shake these hip titties. I got about a 6-year window of titty shaking.
Listen.
All right, well, anybody got comments? Anybody? Nope. Okay.
Jogged out tonight.
All right. Well, tell them what's coming up next immediately.
Oh yes. So we have new program for y'all on Sundays called Speak On It. You will see a newly engaged couple. Yes, Nikila Shannon and Stacey Majors. They are hosts of a great relationship show. We are so excited to have them join FCN. So that will be coming up literally in 10 minutes or so. So stay around, go get some water, go get a snack, grab your plate of chicken because it is Sunday dinner time, and then get your phone, cast it to your TV because you are not going to want to miss Speak On It.
Yes.
All right, thank you all for joining. I am The Revolution. With me is J. Cole and Miss Trezenay. This has been the Sunday edition. Stay tuned for FCN's new program, Speak On It.